my friends. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name's Katie, and if you are new here, hi, welcome. I hope you consider subscribing, and if you're back, welcome back. Today, I'm here to join all of you for a WIP and Chat. WIP stands for work in progress. Chat just means we're going to chat a little bit, so feel free to whip out your whip. I can't resist saying that every week. Feel free to whip out your whip and work alongside of me. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you today. Today I'm going to be working on a diamond painting. This is actually the kit that I kitted up with you guys in last week's WIP and Chat. The name of it is Summer. It's by the artist Alphonse Mucha. It's from the year 1898. So it's part of the public domain, and it actually is an early start for me for Summer with the Masters. This kit was actually sent to me by Diamond Painting Shop, spelled S-H-O-P-P-E. They have a really, really beautiful selection of old Masters kits over there right now. It looks like they've actually added the rest of these Mucha season panels to the shop, though the last time I checked, they were still listed as either sold out or pre-order. I'm hoping that they'll be in stock soon. This is a new to me company, and I think a relatively new company in general, so I'm really excited to be working on this kit and getting a sense for what this company does have to offer. In addition to offering a lot of old Masters kits, so kits from before the year 1927, and they're therefore a part of the public domain. In addition to those, Diamond Painting Shop does carry a number of legally licensed kits from more modern artists as well. So it seems like they have a really nice selection. I will link to their shop below, and I would love for you to go and take a look. It's always nice to see new small businesses like theirs pop up in the community, and I really want them to succeed and do well because we want more and more diamond painting companies out there offering more and more selection to us as crafters. So as far as what else I'll be using, I pulled a couple of pens. Sorry, I almost had to yawn and then it went away. I have a couple of pens here today. So this is from Jim's Handmade Pen Shop, and I just thought the florals in this were really perfect. And then this is actually from C'est Plus Beau à Tour, and I think just this past week or the week before, they added this particular blank to their shop as something that you can just order at any time, it looks like. I'm pretty sure it's this blank with these multicolor flowers in the middle, but I picked this one up a little while back, and I don't think I've never used it. I always check my single tip, and there's no wax in there, so I have not used this one before. So I might start with this one because I was painting with this one earlier today. Anyway, I'll link to both their shops below. The tray itself, this is one of the magic, like the beautiful color shift trays from Munimade. I am blanking on the name of this one. Is this one the sunset one? But it shifts from like yellow to red depending on how the light hits it. And I thought the red and the yellow really fit this kit well. As far as minders go, this floral minder is actually a wooden minder. This is from the Creative Palace on Etsy. And this particular minder, I thought, again, perfect because of the florals and the colors. This is from Kim's Needle Minders, also on Etsy. I'll link to both their shops and their Instagram accounts. Ooh, strong magnets. Their Instagram accounts as well. And then I'm going to be using Patty Wax. This is in the scent Just Peachy. It felt like a nice summery scent. I'll be using this in my single placer, and then my scented putty from Randa's Crafty Corner in Cheesecake and Berries scent. I just put in another order with Randa's Crafty Corner. This past week I saw that she had launched some new scents, and I hadn't ordered from her in a little while, so I was really looking forward to trying some of those new scents. Last but not least, I am using my Elizabeth Ward storage. Look at those sparkles on those diamonds. Oh my gosh. For this 53 color kit. So yay. Oh, that's right. I stuck the artwork in here. So here's that original artwork in case you're curious. This is a large kit, 50 by 120. So I have a lot of kits in mind to work on this summer, so I don't know if I'm going to finish this one or not. We're just gonna see what happens. But I actually started it. I started it earlier today in my Patreon live. I hadn't worked on it actually, since I kitted it up with you guys last week, I hadn't even started it because I was really, really going hard on that Rika Raikkonen mystery, the fantasy mystery from Diamond Art Club. Ooh, that's okay. Maybe should have just grabbed a whole new multi-placer because that did not totally want to fit, but that will work. I wanted to make it easy and just move the multi-placer over, and that was a snug fit. But yeah, I have that one over halfway done at this point, and I just have been really enjoying it, and I kind of thought, let me see how far I can get on it before Summer with the Masters kicks off. But no, I didn't really want to work on it during my Patreon live because people come in and out of there. I didn't want someone to accidentally have something spoiled for them. So I was like, I'm going to pull out Summer and go ahead and actually start that with them. And then I thought, I'm going to do the same thing for my WIP and Chat because even if I give you as a warning at the very front, like I had this one out, I was working on it anyway, I might as well go ahead and just work on this one with you guys instead. So anyway, let me hold back this plastic cover. I did start this section already earlier, but let me put my little minder down. This kit has a plastic cover that is very, very thick. So it's thicker than most other plastic covers. That's not a bad thing, just something I noticed. And so yeah, the minder actually really does help in that case. So let me grab a color and we will get rocking and rolling here. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a really, really wonderful day so far. It is Sunday evening. And I'm debating, literally, just still even now, I'm debating if I'm going to have this video go up on Monday morning or if I'm going to wait and bump it to Tuesday. I hesitate because Monday in the US is Memorial Day. And I just don't know, like, I don't know. I'm debating if I want to put it up Monday or not, basically, because it's a holiday and I don't know. I think it would be easy enough to bump. But at the same time, I have a lot of videos to go up this week just because of timing. Things like my month in review video, because, we're about to hit the first of a new month. I, will want to have my month in review video up soon. I'll have a Summer with the Masters, just a really brief launch video happening on the 1st. I have a Diamond Art Club sneak peek. Like, there's a lot that almost has to happen in the next week. I mean, it doesn't have to, but it's going to. So if I bump my WIP and Chat, it just might have kind of a domino effect. So maybe it's better. You guys are getting my whole stream of consciousness here. That's okay. So anyway, I do absolutely want to take a moment just to extend my sympathy and gratitude to any of you who have a loved one that did give their life in service of their country. Just want to thank you and honor their sacrifice and hope that you feel very loved and very seen on Memorial Day. You're very, very, very much appreciated, and my heart is with you. The kids have off school tomorrow, so we have a nice long weekend, and Adam has off work, so we have been getting in just a lot of really, really wonderful family time. Just been soaking that up. We've also gotten in some really good friend time, and we'll have even more of that tomorrow. As far as diamond painting things go, I was just thinking about how, this time last year and getting ready to kick off the official event of Summer with the Masters, how different Summer with the Masters this year looks from last year. Last year we had a little bit different approach where we were looking kind of at the community and what we were seeing, and we felt like there was just a lot to learn, even for ourselves, myself especially. Jessica was the old pro and the expert on all of these things, so I think this is largely a special interest of hers especially. But we took a few weeks. Did we do a 6-week video series in April and May that basically was just teaching all about like what are the old masters, how can you order a custom, some tips and tricks that we have, where do you find artwork, where do you find high enough quality artwork to send, and again, like old masters refers to anything from before the year 1927, which under U.S. copyright law means that it's part of the public domain, and that date changes each year at the beginning of the year. So I was learning a lot as we went, of course, and it was really fascinating because I feel like I fell in love with this genre of artwork in a way that I really wasn't before. And it's interesting, I think, how our tastes can change over time. And I think it's okay to let your tastes change over time as well. I can't remember if this came up when I was talking about like letting people love what they love in a WIP and Chat a couple weeks back. But yeah, I was just thinking about how I'm looking at my diamond paintings that I haven't started yet, my stash, and thinking there are a number of these kits that I think I could safely destash because while they may have been my taste when I bought them, my taste has changed and now I don't get excited at the prospect of working on them, and that's okay. And kits that I normally wouldn't have reached for or picked up for myself at all, like I get very excited about. Like I got so excited when I saw that Distracted by Diamonds released another piece by Muka. So that makes 3 pieces in my stash from Muka at this point. This one, Distracted by Diamonds released the spring panel, and they had released the Zodiac. It's just called Zodiac a few weeks back, and I have that as well. Again, artwork that really, if you would have told me even a year ago, 2 years ago, that I would be like, oh, I'm so excited at doing this one as a diamond painting, I would have been like, really? You are? So it's funny. It's a little bit funny to see how that can change. And so going into summer with the Masters this year, we're holding it just a little bit more loosely in general. Jessica and I were thinking we wanted to have more of a relaxed community event vibe instead of it feeling like, at least for us, it felt like a little bit more intensive, like learning series. Because we did like 6 weeks of kind of like teaching style videos. And then, sorry, I have to pull this closer to find the color. There we go. And then there were a couple of weeks in between that and June 1st because we had wanted to give people the chance to order customs if they wanted to, because those can take some time to come in and whatnot. And then the event actually started, and I want to say that, did we run through mid-August? Like it was a long event. It might have run through just the end of July. I can't remember. I don't have the graphics in front of me. But anyway, it just felt like it was just at a much larger scale. And neither of us were really feeling that kind of scope of an event this year. And we thought, I don't know that necessarily everyone else is either. Why don't we, skip doing the whole educational series? We'll do an announcement, of course, ahead of time. So if people want to order customs, they can. But then we can direct people back to like the videos we did last year. They're still totally applicable and helpful. But then let's just focus on actually working on our kits. And I think a lot of people, didn't quite finish their kits last year because with the old masters, you tend to end up with much larger kits because there's lots of detail, or just the style of the artwork will sometimes have, more of a literal paintbrush stroke effect. And sometimes for that to even begin to translate well, you need just a bit bigger size. So understandably, people weren't really able to finish this. So we also got rid of you need a new start and a finish. We just kind of thought, no, just pull out your old master's kits, work alongside of us. Let's just enjoy working on these beautiful pieces of artwork together and have fun with it. So it's it's still the same event, but it's a 2.0. And don't ask yet. No one has asked yet. Don't do it here. Don't be the first one. No one has asked, is it happening next year? We're gonna take it 1 year at a time. But I'm looking forward to the event kicking off officially, and I love what I have seen so far in the Facebook group. Okay, I should clarify, because that's going to sound confusing, so I'm going to catch myself really quick and say there's no Facebook group for Summer with the Masters. However, I have a Facebook group with my friend Lindsay of Emeralds and Fairy Lights. I almost said the name of our group instead of her channel name. Emeralds and Fairy Lights is Lindsay, and she and I started a Facebook group together a month and a half back called Diamonds and Emeralds. It's always linked in my description if you'd like to go and check it out. Make sure you answer all of the questions in the like when you request to enter, make sure you answer the questions. We ask that people only share, I should say we only allow, we delete posts that don't have legally licensed artwork. We ask that people are only sharing legally licensed artwork or public domain works like the old masters. Anyway, some people have been posting their start pictures in our Facebook group, or have posted what specific kits they've ordered or pieces that they have gotten in to work on for Summer with the Masters. And so that's what I meant when I said what people have been posting in the group. That's what I mean. So I've loved seeing people share those in the Diamonds and Emeralds Facebook group and on the hashtag on Instagram. I guess you're welcome to use the old hashtag as well, but if you want to make sure that your progress pictures and everything are being seen by people for this year's event, the hashtag is Summer with the Masters 2022, I believe. So, yay! I'll recap all the info in a launch video on the 1st, which is either tomorrow or 2 days from now, depending on when this video goes up. So, yay, I'm excited, like I said. Yeah, it'll be fun. And then we should have the whole month of August off, and then, I don't know, I guess we should maybe talk about drills and chills. But no, nothing is official, but I'm sure it is happening in some form. Okay, I am one that I almost never put my my storage containers in order of like alphanumeric or by symbol, basically. I tend to just leave them in order of DMC. But there's something about, maybe the stickers are a little bit on the smaller side, and maybe just because the only time that I've worked on this kit so far has been in video form, and so I have it shifted just slightly out of frames, and it's a little bit further away from me. My eyes, I feel like I'm straining to see the symbols and find them, and so now I'm like, should I just put these in some kind of organization by symbol at this point? Probably. Yeah, so when I'm working on mystery kits, I do organize the symbols, organize the containers by symbol. Like I put all the letters together, all the numbers together, all the arrows together, etc., etc. Because at least on Diamond Art Clips mystery kits, all of the symbols are just black and white, and if they're not organized in some way, my brain just doesn't, it takes me longer to look through and find the symbol. I need to go back and respond to, someone asked a question about, I think it was on my how I use washi tape video. I need to go back and respond to it. They were like, I noticed that your washi tape, like when you put the border on your canvas, that it covers up your legend. How do you know where to place the symbols? I never look at the legend. Literally, I never look at the legend that's on the canvas, like the one that's in the bottom right hand corner. I never ever look at it. Yeah, no, because my containers have the symbols on them, I just look at my containers. I don't look at the legend at all. So it doesn't matter to me if it's covered up, but I think that if you're one that you want to be able to see the legend and reference it, you could maybe make a copy and like hold the copy by you. I'm not sure. What do you guys do? Are you the type that you refer to the legend on your canvas, or are you like me and you kind of just look at the symbols on the containers and go from there? There's not like a right and wrong way to do it. You do what works for you. I just know that especially on larger canvases like this, I didn't want to have to worry about going to the legend every time that I needed to see what a particular symbol was. It just didn't feel practical to me, but I don't know. Whatever works for you. Let me take a quick look. So I was just thinking about how I think that maybe the size of my stash is just the fact that it is the size that it is has started to feel overwhelming to me. I'm really looking forward to destashing. I've been talking about destashing for over a year, and I think you can guess that whether or not it's happened, it hasn't happened. But I really, really have to, because I think it actually is just the scope of it is starting to make me feel stressed. So, same thing with my accessories. I watched a couple of friends do really big destashes and like different destash Facebook groups lately, including accessories. And I was like, I should really do that too. I should try to borrow some of their momentum and get on that. But I was also thinking about how it's really tempting to try to be able to do it all. I was floating some ideas I had a monthly Patreon live today, and I was floating some ideas to them about like potential additions of perks that I could do. Like, do I want to add like a Zoom hangout once a month or something like that? Or like a Discord group or something like that. And then I realized like I can't do it all. I want really badly to be able to do it all. But I have this tendency to try to figure out how can I be as efficient at all the things as possible, and how can I do it all? At the very least, what is the very maximum amount of things that I can do and accomplish before I actually hit capacity? And even if I think I'm hitting capacity, it's like, well, if I just tweak this or that, can I still make it all happen? And I know that doesn't work for me, and I need to, make sure that I'm creating margin for my own mental health, for my relationships, margin just for when things get busy or things don't go according to plan. But I think I see even a hint of available space, and I'm like, ooh, I bet I have something I could fill that with. I bet that I can, add something else to my plate. Surely I have space. Surely I have room. I can make it work. I can't. I feel like you do have to hit capacity at some point, and it's okay to like say no to things, even things like ideas that you yourself have come up with, but that's no fun. But it's that like really cheesy saying that it is true though, and I've said it to other people, and I need to hear it for myself too. But the idea that if everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. I'm really, really bad at taking that to heart. So anyway, all this to say, I just keep kind of tabling adding anything else. I'm like, if I'm going to add anything else, something else has to go. We have to be practical about this. Anyway, so that probably applies to kits as well, though. Like, I'm thinking of like the size of my stash and stuff. I'm like, if that were smaller, I'd probably feel a little bit less intimidated by it. So we've had a really fun weekend so far. Adam and my oldest went to a strawberry patch today, and they had this really, really cute setup where they got to ride a tractor, and there were like baby goats and like other farm animals that the kids could pet. Oh my gosh, so adorable. And then strawberries are in season right now, so they have like, it's, strawberry picking tour time. I think they just run these for like a month, basically, like while it is in fact strawberry season. But you get to pick like 2 pints of strawberries, which they're in our fridge. I need to try some. Oh my gosh, I need to try some. I love, love, love fresh strawberries. And then they have you pick some seasonal veggies, and they basically tell you, they're like, it's going to completely vary. You don't know, like you have to reserve a time slot ahead of time for the tour because it's, you know, how much space they have on the wagon rides, the tractor rides. But they tell you up front, they're like, we don't know what the veggie is going to be that you get to pick when you're here. You guys, of all things, why was the veggie that they had to pick today beets? I've never cooked beets in my life. I don't think I particularly care for the flavor of beets. Like, I feel like I've had them sometimes on salads, like when they've come on salads, and I haven't chosen to eat that part of my salad. I've just picked it off. I know that there are a lot of people that swear by pickled beets, which just makes me want to gag. Honestly, pickled anything, not my style, not my jam. No pickles. I didn't crave pickles when I was pregnant. I was not that kind of stereotype. I feel like I craved pickles adjacent though. When I was pregnant with my youngest, I craved vinegar like something fierce. I could have poured balsamic vinaigrette on everything and eaten it when I was pregnant with my youngest. Like, oh my gosh. And don't pickles have like a really vinegary flavor? But no, like the smell and everything of pickles, ugh. No. I worked in fast food during like the summer and stuff for a few years when I was in like high school and college, just to like earn some spend money and save up like towards a car and stuff like that. And when I remember there was one time when I was helping like prep the bins for like sandwiches or whatever, and I had to like drain a big bag of pickle slices. Like I had to drain the juice out of the bag, and I thought that I was going to like throw up, and the rest, like, it was beyond disgusting. I was like, nope, I'm never going to be a pickles person. Ever. Not my thing. So no, I will not be pickling these beets in an attempt to eat them either. If you love it, I love it for you. It is not for me. So anyway, we have these beets, and I'm like, I don't, can I just like douse them in butter and saute them? Like, that's a thing you can do with most veggies, and they turn out okay, right? Also, let me tell you, if you have not made the joke already, it's okay. But as soon as Adam was like, yeah, beets were the veggie we got to pick, I was like, please tell me that you made all kinds of Dwight Schrute jokes. Like, please. Did you pretend like you were Dwight Schrute on your beet farm? Did you take a bite out of the side of a raw beet? Did you say bears, beets, Battlestar Galactica? He was like, no. I was like, I am disappointed in you. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll get over it. But I feel like I was like, that's the only reason that it is acceptable for beets to have been the vegetable of the day. So if you have a magical recipe that is going to make me fall in love with beets, feel free to share it below. Or if you want me to ship you some beets, just send me your address. Yeah, I don't know, you guys, but they did come home with 2 pints of strawberries and a giant sleeve of kettle corn just for me. I love that like fresh popped kettle corn that you get at like fairs and stuff. Oh, excuse me. Sorry if I made you yawn. It's contagious, even over the internet. But yeah, I was like, Adam, I'll try to save some for you. He's like, that thing is as big as like your torso. I hope that you save some for me. I was like, wow, you underestimate my love of kettle corn. So yeah, they had lots of fun today. I'm going to go out with a friend tomorrow, and we are going to Home Goods. We are on the hunt. We enable each other, it's a good and a bad thing. We enable each other heavily when it comes to home projects. So she's on the hunt for like a new area rug for her living room. I am still ever on the hunt for the perfect kitchen chair. It's not a huge deal. I am on the hunt for a unicorn, and I'm not in a rush necessarily to find it. Like, I'm patient. The hunt is part of the fun anyway. It will find me. I will find the right kitchen chairs when the time is right. So we're going to Home Goods tomorrow. And the problem with us enabling each other is that we both have an eye for, we'll call it higher quality, higher quality things. So Adam will joke that he's like, if I put 10 different things in front of you, like the same kind of thing, he's like, if I put 10 different, in this case, let's say area rugs in front of you and covered up the prices and brands, you just had like the object in front of you. He's like, you could still look at that, and if you picked out your favorite, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the most expensive one of the bunch. And I said, it depends. That depends. I am not one to, well, I don't have the budget to just like buy the most expensive thing all the time. And also that's not terribly practical. It's just not. I like a combination of quality and good price. And sometimes for me, that if I have the ability to, and I recognize the privilege here, I do, I will spend more to get something that's going to hold up for longer or is less likely to fall apart, that sort of thing. Like in the case of like an area rug, I'm probably going to pick out the one that looks like it's going to hold up the best and does like match my aesthetic taste and stuff like that. But he's not wrong. And Rachel, my friend, has the same thing that I do, where she just has an eye for, well, we can just say that we have expensive taste, but on like Pottery Barn taste on a Walmart budget, because both of us will hunt and hunt and hunt for a deal. It's one of the reasons we go to Home Goods, is because often the stuff that's ending up there is the stuff that was overproduced and they couldn't sell all of it. And so they mark it down and send it to Home Goods. And yeah, so it's still not always, you have to be smart about it. You have to do your research and know like, okay, this isn't something that ended up here because it's cheap, because that stuff can end up there too. Anyway, completely not diamond painting related, but I'm excited to go out tomorrow because the Home Goods that we're going to it's a big one. We're driving a bit further to go to like a bigger ones that we're most likely to get the best selection, the best chance of finding what we're looking for. Oh, it'll be fun. I know it's silly, but it'll be fun. Speaking of home projects, I mentioned a little bit last week in the WIP and Chat about some of the things that we were taking care of around the house. We did have the tree removed from our backyard area this past week, and we like very, very narrowly avoided disaster. Oh my goodness. Now, everything is fine. Like I say, we did in fact avoid the disaster, but they came out to the tree guys came out to remove the tree, and you guys, this tree is so fast growing. They were out here like barely a year ago to trim it, and in just a year it had grown over 2 stories, like tall. I cannot believe how fast this tree grows. Like, I should have taken a time lapse of how fast it grows or something. But literally, like, the dude had to strap on his gear and climb the tree to like chop it down from the top. I was like, did not expect that, because literally you guys came and chopped this tree down, like trimmed this tree down to nearly nothing last year, and it has still grown up this much in the time since. But anyway, so they chopped it down, and they got it down to, close to the stump. Where is this color? 7, where are you? There. Oh, it's green. See, on the canvas that looks blue, but no, it's green. Really pale seafoam green. It's very pretty, actually. Anyway, so they have it down to the stump, and they had said, you know, we're actually not going to be able to get our big stump grinding machine back here, so we're going to take out the stump by hand, which essentially meant digging with shovels. Like, literally, like, shovels and pickaxes is what it looked like to me. So I'm watching them do this. So they're going at it to, like, move all the dirt. Thank goodness that, like, this tree had incredibly invasive roots that basically killed off all the grass that we had there. And they're basically, like, tearing up all of the ground there. Like I said, thank goodness we didn't actually have any grass there, because it would have just been absolutely destroyed. And they're digging, and I see them kind of slow down, and the guy's, like, taking pictures of some stuff, and they're, like, being real cautious about it. And then they come in and get me and said, hey, we'd like to show you something. I said, okay. And they brought me out, and, you know, they've dug up the ground quite a bit, and they point into the ground, and in between, like, the stump that, you know, they can only get so much out of it. So there's still a little bit of the stump of the ground, like, under, like, below the ground level. And you can see, like, a couple of offshoots of roots that, you know, they've chopped, you know, they've separated that from the stump for the most part and everything, but they point and kind of going straight through, like, a line like this, and say, like, the big tree stump is here, and there's, like, roots kind of going on, like, either side and in various directions, but going straight in a line through there is the water main. The water main line went right through here, and somehow this tree, with its ridiculously, obnoxiously invasive roots, did not jack up our water line. They told us that if we had waited another year to have that tree taken out, the roots would most likely have messed up the water line. We could have had flooding. It could have affected our neighbors. It would have been, especially if we hadn't noticed it right away, you know, it would have been a huge, huge mess. And I don't even want to imagine the cost involved to repair said mess. So thankfully, they were taking out this stump by hand, because they said also, if we had managed to get the big stump grinding machine in here, that would have hit the water main while we were taking it out, and that would have been bad. You would have been without water for a day or two while we repaired it. It would have gotten expensive, blah, 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 blah. I was like, holy cow, you guys, thank you. Like, seriously, thank you as it was. I mean, the shovels, when they were digging, the shovels could have hit it. Like, oh my gosh. This just gets added to the ever-growing list of ways that I am just not even remotely happy with the previous owners of our place. I've decided at this point that they were cheap and lazy, because that tree had no business having been planted there in the first place. So clearly they didn't even care about what tree they were putting in. They just wanted it to look good for listing to sell. Don't get me started. I'm already started. Who am I kidding? They just wanted it to look good for listing the place to sell. But that tree never had any business being planted in this space, which was too small for it. If they were going to plant a tree, they should have checked for the water main, you know, water, gas, electric, like any lines that could potentially have been running, they should have checked for, and they didn't. So I'm all about, like, being a DIYer or whatever, but, like, man, these past owners, they took so many shortcuts. They just, oh my gosh. I told Adam that, like, you know, I'm gonna be probably incredibly obnoxious. Like, if we were ever to sell and try to buy again, I would be going over any potential future home that we were going to buy with a fine-tooth comb, like looking closely at every single little thing. Because, I mean, or at the very least going in with eyes wide open, like knowing the kind of mess that you can get into, even if things look real pretty and shiny on the surface. That doesn't mean that what's happening underneath is shiny and perfect too. So, you know, I guess it's just lessons of being first-time homeowners. It just, ugh. Anyway, so like I said, crisis averted, but my goodness, that was too close of a call for me. But it's taken care of. That was kind of one of the big things that we really needed to get taken care of. So yay, that's done. Now I am looking at our backyard area, which, you know, it's a bummer to lose that tree because the shade in the summer was glorious and we are just now going into the summer. But I am looking at our backyard going, okay, this actually looks like a beautiful blank slate now that that tree is gone. What can we do with this to make this a really, really fun place for us and our kids to hang out? We have so much more space and possibilities open to us now that this tree is gone, because really the tree was just right in the middle. And so we couldn't even put anything really big there because the tree was in the middle. Like, you know, it was in the way really for all intents and purposes, which again, it was worth it for all that shade. But now that it's gone, I'm trying to look at it as what are the things now that we can do instead that we couldn't do before. So I am researching a bit about doing like artificial turf instead of real grass, because in that particular spot, I think it'll be difficult to keep grass alive in general just because of how the sun hits it and that sort of thing. And it's such like a little small patch. I don't know. I want to look into maybe doing just artificial grass. At the very least, we might just get some sod and roll it out instead of trying to plant seed, because I don't think I'd be able to keep the kids off of it well enough for it to grow, you know? And it's such a small area that I don't think, you know, rolling out sod would be very expensive at all. But yeah, I have research to do. And I'm looking like, should we do a bigger patio set, like with space to like sit and hang out outside, like, and maybe eat meals outside sometimes and stuff like that? Should we get more in the way of like play equipment for the kids? Should we just keep it open and have things that we can, you know, like set up and tear down easily there, like a big little splash pad thing? I don't know. I think the possibilities are there. I think I just need to hop on Pinterest. So that's when in doubt. I'll see what Pinterest ideas there are out there. But usually how this goes is that I hop on Pinterest to get some ideas. I promptly get massively overwhelmed by Pinterest and shut it down and say, never mind, I'm just figuring it all out on my own because I'm never going to be one of these perfect Pinterest moms. And then I like slowly, cautiously make my way back and try to narrow it back down and not get overwhelmed by all of the like overly filtered and curated posts that it links to. So anyway, yeah, we'll see. I also want to really refresh like the landscaping back there. Again, now that we don't have this tree whose roots have just killed everything, I'm like, let's get some lovely plant life going back here. I know this is not going to be inexpensive either, like not fun, but necessary. We're going to have someone come out and level out a couple of spots where the tree roots really mess things up. Like we have a set of pavers, that's our walkway to the garage, that just have buckled really badly from the roots of this tree going and expanding underneath, and it's just going to be a whole thing. 2 weeks in a row, you guys, that you're getting like tons of homeownership whining from me. Sorry. It's just forefront of my mind here. So another thing I need to do research on. We are thinking, we've been talking about, and we know we want to get a dog. That's been on our radar and on our plan for a while. And now that the kids are a little bit older, it just really feels like the time is right. But here's what we keep coming back to. We have a 12-year-old cat who's very shy. She mostly sleeps under our bed. She's very affectionate towards us, but just really comes out in the evenings after the kids go to bed. She comes out, eats, kind of goes back and hangs out, sleeps, whatever. You almost wouldn't even know she's here. I sometimes have had trouble convincing people that, yes, I do in fact own a cat. Her name is Dolce. She's a Siamese, Russian Blue, I think is the breed. She's very, very sweet, but I'm very worried that if we were to get a dog, that it would just be completely overwhelming and frightening for her, and that she would never come out from under our bed is what I'm worried about. And I'm very much of the mind that, like, we need to do what's best for the pets that we currently own, and she's the only pet that we own right now. We used to have another cat and a dog, and she did well with that dog, but mostly because she had the other cat to buddy up to. The cat passed away. He was old. Our other cat passed away a couple years back, and our dog we lost really suddenly and tragically a few years, when I was pregnant with my youngest, actually. So we're finding ourselves in a tricky situation. I keep landing on, let's just wait, but cats can live to be 20 years old, so I'm kind of like, I don't want to wait a really long time to get a dog. We really would like a dog basically now. But I really want to do what's best for Dolce, of course. So Adam thinks, this is Adam's plan. I do not know that I agree for a number of reasons. Adam's idea, rather, is that we should get a kitten that Dolce can bond with and can basically, like, be another cat, be her buddy, and help her feel like more confident and just safe. And then once she kind of has like her emotional support cat, then we could get a dog and it wouldn't be as big of a thing because she'd have another cat there. I have a lot of hesitation around this, like a lot, for a number of reasons. One, Dolce is skittish, who is to say that she is going to take to a kitten, at all. Two, who's to say that, like, they would even really get along, another cat and her, because cats are tricky that way sometimes. And three, like, who knows what happens when you add a dog to the equation? Unrelated to these things, I love my cat. I adore her. I would not change anything about her or having her or how we got her or anything. But I just don't necessarily know that I want to have a litter box in my home forever. I kind of didn't necessarily think that we would get another cat once Dolce, whenever she did move on and pass away. I kind of thought, well, that may just be it. And so I don't know that I want to necessarily get a kitten and restart that length of time that we'll likely have a litter box. And I also just don't know how I feel about having 2 kids and 2 cats and a dog in the house at once. So it's a conundrum. Like, we just basically go in circles with this discussion, and we always land on, like, well, I guess we're not doing anything right now. But, like, we've been doing that for almost a year at this point. It feels like, where we've been like, we're really ready to get a dog, but this, but that, but this, but that. And I don't know. I just feel like it would be too much. And I told Adam, like, I feel like I just need to research if this would even work. Like, is this really, like, the best idea? Like, to potentially, like, first get a kitten and then get a dog? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Do I have any pet psychology experts in my viewers? But no, seriously, no one panic. Please rest assured that like my focus is very much on like what should we do that is the very best that we can do for the pet that is part of our family right now. I'm not going to do something selfish just to like put her in a really crummy situation. Like I won't do that. Like I want her to, you know, be happy and be doing well, like more than anything. That's the most important. So anyway, I want us to do a really brief mental health check-in with you guys, just with the events of the past week, which I'm absolutely not going to touch on any more than acknowledging it just like that, because I just can't. I just want to be sending lots of love to any of you that work in schools, any of you that are parents, any of you that have loved ones that are somehow affected like by this kind of tragedy. I'm with you. I want to gently remind you that if you are struggling and not sure how to cope, and you know, need that extra support, to not be afraid. Take this as a nudge to seek out therapy. It was an incredible blessing for me to be able to go into my weekly therapy on this past week and just be able to basically unload and cry with my therapist and have someone to help me process and sort out all of my feelings and emotions surrounding events like those. And I want that so badly for anyone else that is struggling with how to process things like that. I have the feeling if I ask you guys, you know, are you doing okay, that a lot of you are really going to say, no, I'm really, really not. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. And that I am thinking of you, and I know it is probably an overused sentiment, but really it is okay not to be okay. It's okay to seek out help from a source like therapy, even if you feel like I don't really need it, or even if you feel like, well, surely other people have it way worse, or things aren't that bad, like I can muscle through, like I'm okay, I don't want to, I don't know, take up space, you know, other people might need more. Whatever kind of your barrier to that kind of thing is, I want to put a challenge to you that maybe that barrier doesn't need to be there. So I do know that it is difficult for many of us, because it's not always financially doable, because the healthcare in this country is not as it should be. I get that as well. I would encourage you to explore resources that may be out there, like if you're affiliated with a religious organization like a church, or you know, I don't know what other resources may be available, but oh goodness, my heart is with you. Feel free to let me know in the comments just how you've been doing. Like I said, just a little mental health check-in for us this week. Reminder to drink your water, to go out and get some sunshine, and to do the things like remember to take your medicine, remember to go to therapy. I was just thinking the other day that it actually, it's a small thing, but it works for me. My therapy is covered by insurance, and I just have to pay a $25 copay per session. But if I decide that I feel like I want to flake out on my therapy, like the morning of or something, then I'm, you know, outside of my therapist's cancellation window, which is 48 hours. And then I have to pay out of pocket a cancellation fee of $75. So I'm like, even if I don't feel like going, I don't want to pay 3 times as much just to flake out. So of course that's, you know, if there's an emergency or something, she's gonna, you know, she's gonna understand. But like for the mornings, I'm like, I just don't feel like going. But I know I should go. There is that nice little motivator of like, well, you can pay like this really crazy cancellation fee, or you can just show up and do the work. And yeah, so anyway, I know that there's a lot going on and that a lot of us have a lot weighing on our minds. So I just want to share that support, that solidarity, and hopefully that encouragement that if you're looking for that extra nudge to make that call to your doctor to talk about medication, or make that call to your insurance to help you find a therapist that's in network or something like that, like go ahead and consider this your nudge to make it happen. This is the time. This is what you were waiting for. But anyway, you guys, I am going to wrap up here and let you guys go. Sending you all the love in the world. As far as this week, what you can expect video-wise, I have a very full docket coming up, as I kind of mentioned earlier. I'm going to have hopefully my May month in review for you guys later this week, and I have a couple of different unboxings that I'll get to. I am well overdue to do a small shop haul and Happy Mail video. I have now a growing stack of packages going. And then we'll have this summer with the Masters launch video happening on the 1st. It's going to be a busy week. I have a sneak peek from Diamond Art Club to share, and it's really, really cute. So anyway, you guys, I'll have lots of content for you this week. It'll be a busy one. So if you made it to the end and you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because there's lots of good stuff coming your way this week. I would love to have you as part of my little community here. Also, if you made it all the way to the end, not only let me know how you're doing for our little mental health check-in here, but also, why don't you leave... Okay, I know we did it last week, but it's just too perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's do it again. Some kind of flower or floral emoji. If you're feeling really, really extra about it, you can go back and make sure that you leave a different one from last time. I know that there's a million different flower emojis in there, so go find a different one. But you guys, thank you for hanging out with me in this WIP and Chat today. I really hope that you're doing well and that you're able to take these steps to kind of take better care of yourself. I know I'm trying to do that alongside all of you as well. So anyway, thank you again for hanging out with me. Let me know what you were working on. Let me know what you're up to this week and how you're feeling. I hope that you have a really good Memorial Day. And again, my gratitude and just thankfulness to any of you who had a loved one that gave their life in service for our country. Really, really appreciate you. So anyway, you guys, hit the thumbs up on this video on your way out if you wouldn't mind. Like I said, feel free to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would love to have you. Okay, friends, have a great rest of your week. I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.